Hello everybody, today trade cap for February 3rd, 2026. And today I took two trades. Um, I mean, absolutely insane day today as well, right? We had a very nice move on Aapl and Meta, no drawdown on either trade. So I'll kind of talk about what I saw and how I kind of took these trades, what I saw and how I managed my trade. So let's go into the video. So what do we see today, right? So we have to always look at the market, right? We know QQQ and SPY are weak today. Why? Because we're below our pre-market low, our previous day close, both on QQQ and SPY, right? So very bearish price action on QQQ and SPY. So the two names that were, so the idea that I wanted to like trade, right, was either a name that's technically that's very weak with QQQ and SPY, or a name that's showing strong price action while QQQ and SPY are kind of dumping, right? Name with relative strength. So the two names that are kind of showing relative strength were Meta and Aapl. Why? Because these names are breaking our high of day, while QQQ and SPY were at low of day. Very simple concept, right? And so all I want to see now is some sort of confirmation that price has that's some sort of confirmation that price is holding a certain level, right? So the first trade I took on Meta, right? We kind of show strong price action breaking above high of day, and then I want to see some sort of like pull back and showing strong buyers, right? So could I have been aggressive at this candle close? Yes, but do I want more information because QQ inspired low of day? So I want to be a little bit more. So I want a little bit more confirmation. That's what I was looking for, right? So at this candle, we came down, right? So at this candle, this is our pre-market high. This blue line right here is our pre-market high. So after we close above high of day, I wanted us to kind of pull back instantly and show strong buying at that level, and that's exactly what we had, right? We had strong price action at that level, and we kind of wicked up. So this is a very really fast trade, right? I saw this trade very quickly, and I got into this trade pretty quickly, right? I entered this trade not the candle closure, but at the very end of this candle when it was about to close, because it was closing very bullishly, right? It's a very nice, not a hammer stick candle, but like pretty much a very like nice strong price action candle, right? So I can enter this trade, and I want to see this trade just have the momentum, right? Because we had two very nice candles before, right? Now we're above our high of day level, so now I just want to see us kind of expand above to our key levels. So the first key level, right, was a 713 level, which is an hourly high from our previous day, previous pivot level, right? That was my first TP on Meta, and we had a strong just price action above that level. So now I just kind of want to see us break above, kind of show buyers defending this area, and then move higher. So guys, this candle, by the way, this entry was 50% on this name, and it's not like I bought out the money calls. Like I bought in the money contracts. They're like $2.55 worth, but just Meta such an insane name to trade, plus the new contracts that are now out on Max 7. That like this name to this name was a 50% win. So like I was thinking about like hold up, like I did not expect this to be 50%. Like maybe on Meta, like a $4 move is this quickly is unusual because the volatility maybe was a little bit like cranked up. Let me check. Okay, you know what? That actually explains a lot. This actually is a pretty big price movement on Meta. Looking at this previous day, let me see. Okay, maybe it's actually not that unusual. Anyway, so very insane trade, right? Literally entered in 1 minute, I'm up 50%. So I did call it out in the server this trade, but like I'm not gonna lie, there's no entry after we were up 50%. Like that's kind of like stupid entering up here, right? Now you're entering a little bit later and your risk would be way smaller. And also if the contracts are moving 50%, then the volatility is so cranked up that if we drop, then we're also down like 30% right here. So, I got a really good entry, right? Very good price confirmation, very quick trade, right? And what I see on the Aapl trade, right? So after I took a big W on fucking Meta, right? Very big W. Unfortunately, on Meta, my win could have been bigger, right? I got 50% so quickly. I'm like, what the fuck? So I sold only half. If I sold a little bit more and knew that we would have came back down, I'd made a little bit more, right? Because I was up like $2,500 in literally like 10 seconds. So yeah, so that was a meta trade, right? Stopped out my trailers at this candle, cover coming back down, and QQ Inspire breaking low of day. So I don't want to. I want to see his name hold this level and like make higher highs. I want to see defend this area and kind of show relative strength that we're kind of pushing to upside aggressively, right? Because QQQ Inspire at low of day. If QQQ Inspire at low of day, I don't want to see this name kind of chopping around because I know there's a high chance it's going to come back down because indices are dropping very aggressively, right? And that's what we exactly had in Meta, right? Meta unfortunately dropped, so that's just how you have to, that's just experience and skill you have to understand, right? You have to be using QQQ and spies like as a confluence when you're trading these tech names, right? QQ and spy were like dumping very aggressively, so you knew that managed trade either had relative strength that was going to push up and hold those levels, that market structure aggressively, or we're going to come back down. So manage that trade pretty decently, right? Can't complain. And then I'm going to talk about now the second trade I took on Aapl. So the second trade I took on Aapl was a very decent setup, right? So I knew that on the higher time frame Aapl bullish, and I'll kind of talk about why I know that, right? So Aapl very bearish price action like the week before, right? Where's like 7 weeks red on Apple, but I saw we had earnings. So we had that earnings momentum kind of shift the momentum on Apple, right? We kind of came down to this 245 level and had a nice support. And now the higher time frame, we're kind of showing bullish price action, right? We had the nice push, consolidation, earnings, and then we had a nice push again above earnings high. So I kind of want to see his name show that strong price action with that higher time frame momentum. But unfortunately, right, QQ and SPY were just absolutely shit today, right? Very weak price action. So we didn't get that nice momentum on Apple. But we did catch that nice scalp to hive day, and I'll kind of talk to y'all on how I kind of saw that. So I kind of saw Apple reclaiming, bouncing off low of day, right? Nothing too crazy, no level down here. We just bounced off low of day, but what I want to kind of see is us break above this pre-market high with strong price action, right? So I kind of saw us break above this level with strong price action up here, and so at this level, right, I want to see a pullback now because I don't want to kind of enter calls blindly up here because the risk would be kind of a little bit bigger. The risk would be below this pre-market high, so the risk reward here is wait, it's kind of a good risk reward, right? But realistically, the TP would be at this level, right? Let's realistically, like the TP would be at this 271 level, right? Because Apple does not usually have these insane moves. So realistically, the TP would have been at this 271 level. So this is a 1.8 RR trade, which sounds really good, but I actually target bigger risk to reward trades. I like targeting like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 because I can. That's just my system, right? I can target very small risk and very big reward on these trades, right? That's the kind of that's why options trading tech options is so good because you can target those big risk to rewards once you know what you're doing. So I simply want to see a pullback at this order block right here. Kind of want to see strong price action. Anything showing that buyers, sellers product pullback, and then buyers are showing that we want to kind of push this price back up. So I saw that we kind of showed price action at this order block right here, and then enter calls at this candle, right? Because we already showed that there's clearly buyers at this area. So if you break below, then we're just gonna be chopping on Apple, right? Because QQ and SPY low of day while Apple's reclaiming our key levels. So I simply just want to see the momentum just kind of push up and break high of day because we have a very nice we have a very nice just structure of this chart right here, right? I just want to see us kind of just show that high of day pop, right? High day pop looked very high probability because we reclaimed pre-market high very aggressively. Plus we had the higher time frame kind of bullish, and we also had earnings on Apple. So I had all those things mixed up in this trade to kind of be aggressive with it, right? So enter calls at this stop loss simply. An actual stop loss would have been below its pre-market high, but I had my stop loss right below its order block. I didn't want to see us chop around and come back below because I was already profit with Meta in the green with Meta, so I kind of just want to keep my risk even tighter, right, and just have this trade work out instantly in my favor. So enter this trade, right, and had a little bit of drawdown, I'm pretty sure, but we had nice buyer step up at this area, and then we had a nice push to hive day. We had a nice close above 270 level, which I was looking for, right? We had a nice close above 270 level, which can now be a new stop loss once we kind of break above our hive day. But I like managing my risk a little bit tighter in this trade, so this to this was I think around a 65%. Hold up, I actually don't even remember, even though this was pretty recent. So 60%. Y'all can't even see, bro. Okay, well, 60% trade, right? And like really insane. What can I say? Like after this, no drawdown, nothing crazy, right? Instant move to that upside, and so yeah. And where I saw my trailers, pretty much I just want to see this fair value gap plus this 271 hold, right? That's kind of what I want to see for the momentum on Apple because QQQ and SPY were dropping aggressively. So if this name does not hold, right, our nearest confluences, then we're pretty much going to come back down and be choppy or break the low of day, which Apple kind of did consolidate, which is good for the higher time frame because now we're kind of consolidating while QQ and SPY are kind of weak. But for the intraday, right, for that bigger move, I kind of want to see more strong price action, right? So once we close below this fair value gap plus 271 level, I exited my trailers for I think around 30% win on the trailer. So can't complain, right? Very good day on both these trades. Managed them very well, right? And also, right, called out that Apple trade pretty good, right? That Meta trade, right, can't call that trade out, right? Like it just didn't even say anything beforehand because like there's nothing happening, right? But I saw Meta like showing strong price action, right, in Meta, and then literally like in one candle we're up 50%, right? So like $4 move in one candle, so I'm up 50%, right? You can't really call that out, right? No one should be taking that entry in my opinion, right? Because I'm already at 50%, right? So yeah, so that trade was kind of like if anyone would technically follow that, like you can't kind of follow that trade, right? That's more of like I entered really good because I had that confirmation, but no one else can really follow. That's why I don't say. That's why I don't tell people to like copy people or like copy trade. Like you have to learn to skill your own and like actually like trade because how will you find confidence in yourself and actually taking those setups? And like you will never be an actual trader if you don't know like if you don't take your own trades. It's that simple, right? Like a big hurdle I went over in my trading was stop joining people live trading, right? Once I stop joining people's live trading and start taking my own trades and find my own kind of knowledge in the markets and having my own analysis in at market open, kind of like made me like become better way quicker, right? If I still was like in people's live stream watching their steps, and I would never hone my own skill, you know. So that's pretty much like how I kind of became better in my opinion very quickly, because I just stopped like following other people and took a risk myself and kind of traded by myself, right? So you do not want to get stuck onto you do not want to get attached to following someone or being addicted to someone's live trading, because you have to be taking your own trades if you actually want to learn how to trade. You might be able to make money short term, but long term, there's a very low chance you won't be making money because you just don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to manage risk, right? If these trades reversed on me, I know how to manage my risk, right? These risk to reward just make sense long term. Think about it. These trades, both of them, been over 50%. Think about that. While my risk on these trades are probably around 20, 15%, even less than that. I'm not exactly sure because these contracts kind of move very aggressively, right? So the risk on probably Apple was probably around 15%, while Meta, right, was very, very aggressive, right? So this risk was maybe like 20%, right? 20, 25%, but the reward made up for it, right? I had the confidence, the confluences, and like the context. So I can kind of enter aggressively knowing what my risk is. So you kind of only learn that by trading by yourself and learning, right? So Apple calls on watch 850, right? Let's pop up what it's at 850. Right? So 850, Apple calls on watch, right? Because we kind of want to see its reaction of the aura block, right? And so in Apple wants the Hive Day break here, and then we just had a very nice push to Hive Day. So 15% selling half as Hive Day, 30% at that Hive Day pop, and then 271 next trim, and we got that 271, which is 50%. And so yeah, that's pretty much the day today. Very simple day, right? Nowadays, trading is rinse and repeat, right? You wake up in the morning, just find a good setup, you let the probabilities play out because you know that the winners are going to be bigger than your losers. It's pretty much that simple. And you rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's what I've noticed these days, right? And also, if you guys notice one thing, um, like today I took two long steps while the market was absolutely getting like railed right to the downside. So I was able to understand that I could scalp these names kind of to the upside, knowing that if you can spot keep breaking low of day and those names don't hold like my levels, then like we're gonna break down below. On Meta, I knew if you don't hold this level right here, right, this hourly high, then once we break below it, then we're just gonna be choppy. Like I want to see a strong price action to the upside, right? If you can start breaking low of day aggressively, then I want to see the names I'm trading that I assume that relative strength, right? Continue that relative strength to be able to make high highs and high lows aggressively. So same thing on Apple, right? I wanted to kind of see us hold this 271 plus fair value gap, but we broke down below, and then see we came back and chopped it around. Meta, I just want to see us hold above this 713.51, which is hourly high, but also this 714. So they kind of overlap, right? So you kind of just want to see this range hold, right? And just try to kind of show that strong momentum to the upside on Meta, but we just came back below and then we just chopped around, and we ended up actually breaking below low of day, which makes his name actually weak when QQ Spy had that big downside move. So yeah, that's pretty much a trade cap, right? If you guys just watch all my trade caps, like I literally just talk about the exact same thing, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, because trading is just that simple once you understand what you're doing. Like every single day, you always see me talking about how I'm looking at QQ and Spy, which names are showing strength, which names are showing weakness. Like it's just the exact same thing over and over again. And like honestly, like I wish I sized up the past 2 days. Like today was easy banger day, right? I wish I doubled my size yesterday and today. Then my P&L would have been like over 15,000, right? But I feel like I have issues, right, with my own trading. Like I struggle with sizing up because I'm so comfortable with the size I had. I'm so comfortable with the P&L amounts I get that like it's so hard for me to size up. Like when I'm in a trade, I'm like, you know what, should I size up? But then I just ended up sizing my normal position size, right, which is around 30 to 50 contracts, right, which I usually size around like $5,000 to $8,000 contract size, which I'm very used to, right, because I know my losses on those position sizes is less than $1,200, like less than $500, right, in that $500 range, right, whereas my P&L, right, my winners will usually be above $1,000, right, and with my high win rate, because guys, your setup or your entry model, it has like that's bullshit. When people talk about a win rate on an entry model, there's no win rate on an entry model. This has to be profitable or not profitable, right? Because your system is what gives you that high win rate. Because my system coupled with like my insight of like what QQ Inspire are doing, what the higher time frame looks like on those names, what price action is at around those levels, right? All those things coupled with like if I want to enter that name, and then like I'll have a high win rate knowing all those factors involved, right? So just the entry model itself having a win rate on that model is stupid. That's not a thing. Like when you hear other gurus or people talk about a win rate on an entry model, right? That's not a thing because no entry model has win rate, a set win rate. It changes all the time, right? So that you might as well just so you either want a system that's profitable or it doesn't work. Those are the only two options, right? And you know very easily if it doesn't work because it would just make sense if you know how to trade, right? So yeah. So if you want those higher win rate days, higher win rate months, right? You have to refine a system that kind of tells you when you should not be trading, when you should be trading, right? How to manage your risk, when to enter, right? What consoles to enter on, what areas you want your trade to hold support slash resistance on, right? So you have to kind of make all these things for yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much recap for today. How long? 15-minute long video, bro. Oh my god, 15-minute long video. That's crazy. But yeah, if you guys got any insight from this video, please drop a subscribe and like and comment down below if you got any information. Like I'm telling y'all, I dropped so much information, like for how little views I get, right? How little subscribers and views I get. Like I don't see anyone else in the option space, and I'm in the option space. Like I'm in many discords, I've seen everything, and I don't see anyone else dropping. I don't see anyone else dropping sauce like this and just information like this. I'm not joking, by the way. I'm not even trying to self-glaze. I literally don't see a single person. I see only like two people maybe kind of dropping similar, but like I think I drop like everything, right? So yeah, that's for trade cap, guys. Peace.